So before we get to the really wild exotic stuff, we've got to clear the air about what dark plasma is not. And that means we have to start by busting this myth of ordinary plasma just flipping a switch into some kind of dark mode.
So, let's do a quick refresher. Ordinary plasma, right? It's the fourth state of matter. It's what happens when you superheat a gas, and I mean really heat it, until its atoms just rip apart into charged particles, electrons and protons. It's actually the most common state of matter in the universe. It makes up our sun, all the stars, the whole shebang. And the key thing, the most important part to remember, is that it lives and breathes through the force of electromagnetism.
So, when you hear people talk about this plasma being in dark mode, it's honestly a little misleading. It doesn't mean it's suddenly become invisible, or poof, turned into dark matter. Nope, it just means it's not glowing brightly in the specific kind of light our human eyes can see. Maybe it's cooled down a bit, or it's less dense, so it's just not as luminous.
But here's the kicker. Even when it's not shining brightly, this so-called dark mode plasma is far from hidden. Our instruments are so much more powerful than our eyeballs. We can easily detect the heat it's giving off with infrared spectroscopy, or we can pick up its high-energy signatures with X-ray and radio telescopes. It's still there, loud and clear, just not in the tiny sliver of light that we call the visible spectrum.
And really, that's the bottom line right there. The stuff isn't truly invisible. It's just a little camera shot, you could say. It's still interacting with light and energy in all sorts of ways we can measure. It's still playing by the same old rules of physics we know and love.
All right, so now that we've cleared up that misconception, we can finally turn to the main event. Let's talk about the real deal, the genuine, the hypothetical, and frankly, the totally mind-bending concept that has cosmologists so excited, the real dark plasma.
Now, this is a completely different beast. We are not talking about familiar old protons and electrons anymore. Theoretical dark plasma would be made of something called dark sector particles. These are particles that just aren't on our map. They're not part of the standard model of physics that describes everything we can see and touch. And their number one defining feature, they do not interact with light. Period. At all.
And this brings us to the fundamental split between them. Ordinary plasma, as we said, is ruled by electromagnetism, the force carried by photons, which are particles of light. But dark plasma? Theorists think it might be governed by its own private force, a kind of dark electromagnetism that only affects other dark matter particles. It's like a hidden universe with its own secret set of rules.
I mean, just stop and think about what that really means. We are talking about true, total invisibility. This theoretical plasma wouldn't give off light, it wouldn't block light, it wouldn't even scatter light. If there was a giant cloud of it right in front of you, it would be completely transparent to every single telescope we have. The only way